So let's start putting together the user interface now that we know that we have data and it's time to put together the user interface. It just makes sense. All right, so this is what we're going for. It's a simple user interface, really, as you see here. There really isn't that much going on, but yet we're going to go ahead and build it. Okay, let's start with the top section. So what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and divide things up. I'm going to create another composable at the bottom here. So add, let's call this question display. Okay, as such. And for now, let's make this at preview so we can see the preview of this contents. Let's go ahead and split. And voila. So there's really nothing there yet. That's why it's empty. So what is that we want to do here? First, let's create a surface, because that seems to be what we do first. So inside of a surface, I'm going to pass a modifier. And I want to start with fill max width, such, and then fill max height. And while I'm here, let's just give a general pattern of about 5 dp, or 4 dp that is. Let's go ahead and import our dp. Okay, very well. Let's go ahead and refresh just to see what's going on. All right, there we go. Nothing really out of this world, but at least we see we have something showing there. Next, let's give a color. And in this case here, I'm actually going to create yet another class inside of our utils. Outline class. This is going to be just an object. Let's call this app colors. So what are we going to add here? Just some static colors for our app. So this will help. I'm just going to go ahead and get a few colors that I've created so I don't have to type all of them and bore you with all these details. So you should have access to all of these, of course, in the GitHub to get all of these. So that's not a problem. So we have our app colors there. That's very good. So we can now use it to invoke them inside here so we can get those colors. Okay. So now I can say here app colors as such. And in this case, I'm going to get the M dark purple like this. That's the color I'm going to have in the background. So we're trying to mimic this color you see in the background there. And now that we're inside, let's go ahead and refresh to see if that's going to change. It should. Okay, very nice. So inside, we're going to create a column because all of the items are going to be laid out vertically. So I'm going to pass a modifier. Give a padding of 12 dp. And then let's give it a vertical arrangement. I'm going to arrange top. I want all of the items to be at the top at first, and then horizontal arrangement, alignment that is. I want to center, actually I want start, alignment to start. So it all starts from the left. All right, very good. So next we are going to add this UI element here. I'm going to go ahead at the bottom here, create yet another composable as such. Let's call this question tracker because it's going to track the question. As you see here, we're going to have 0 out of 4,875, something like that. Okay. And I can go ahead and also add another preview here so we can take a look. Now this tracker here will have, as you see here, the first number, so it's going to be 0 out of the entire size of our list. So I'm going to pass 2 parameters here. So counter, it's going to be an int, and I'm just going to give 10 to start with so we can see something. And then out of, it's also going to be an int, and I'm just going to give 100 as a default. Okay, very good. So here I'm going to add a text, not just any other text. Now I'm going to add an annotated string text, annotated string as such. This will allow us to divide or to change parts of our string, our text, as you see here. So this one, question 0, you can see it's different size than this next number there. So that's why we're going to use annotated string. So for that, in our text here, I'm going to use the build annotate the string as such, so it's a lambda. So now inside here, I'm going to pass with style. And I'm going to say style. I'm going to pass a style. I'm going to say paragraph style. Text indent for the first part. I'm going to say text indent none. Okay, so there's no indentation for this text. So I can pass another with style here inside. For our style parameter, I'm going to just say span style. And for the color, in this case, I'm going to say app colors again. And say M light purple, or gray actually. Okay. And then I'll continue. I'm going to say font weight. I want this to be bold, like this. And also I want font size to be a little bit extravagant, so 27.sp. So we need to use the unit SP when we are dealing with strings or text in this case, not DP. That's the recommendation. All right, so now in this lambda here, I'm going to build the actual string that I want to annotate, which I want to pass all these styles that we've created. So I'm going to say append. So in this case, I'm going to append the text that I want. So it's going to be question, and then I'm going to pass the counter value, right, variable, and / like this. So it's going to be something like that. Okay, because I want to annotate this different than this other text. Right. Very handy. A little bit wordy, but very handy. Okay, let's go ahead and refresh this to see if we can see our preview at the bottom here. All right, so you can see at the bottom here, you can see it says question. For now, I'm going to comment this out. That way we don't see this. Okay, so we see that. Question 10 out of something. So next, we're going to create this last section right there, right? So right there, I'm going to say with style, do the same thing. Span style, can pass the color, light gray. That's what we had before. And let's say font weight. I want light to differentiate. Font size, this is going to be smaller, 14sp, like that. And then, of course, what is that we want to append here for our text? It's going to be the out of variable, which should be out of, not out of. Let's go ahead and refactor that. Out of. Right. Very good. So that looks real good. See, question 10 out of 100. So still inside of our text here, if you click there, we notice that our text parameters end here because we're passing this build annotated string there. So that means we can still pass other parameters in our text, right? So I'm going to pass modifier, our good friend. I'm going to say modifier. I want to give a padding, a general padding of about 20 dp as such. Okay, very nice. So we have that nice padding. All right, so now that we have our question tracker, we can of course call that inside there. Right about here, I'm going to say question tracker as such and pass nothing for now. That's fine. And if we go up and make sure that our preview is on, we should be able to see the full picture, hopefully. And voila. Looks real good. Question 10 out of 100.